right, let me sum up the last couple of days. We had Dave the plumber get the drain all set for the washer and the slop sink. Manny came over and talked about tiles. We got a good head of steam up with that end of the project. Kyle came back and finished the electrical work. So here's all the circuits where they ran the wires to. This is the extra amount that's going to get strung through the rafters over here to the new junction box, which they're going to put right in this area right here. So it seems like the roughing did not include putting the box in because they want all the circuits to be dead until everything's hooked up. So the finish work is going to have the new circuit panel being installed, and these wires are going to be run to that. Now if we follow these, you can see that they definitely use this open piece of beam that I suspected they would more than likely want to use. And they got everything strung against this. They jump up here in these joist bays, and they come around, and everything's fastened, and they got some down here which runs to the kitchen, and some up here which probably run up to the bathroom. So they got wires coming in through here, tying in. These two look like they're going towards the dryer and the washer, and these continue down here, and they run up into this area here, and they go right up into the kitchen. On this joist here, they're running the existing wires that we had for the washer up through here. This is where the yellow wire didn't reach as far as they wanted, so they put a junction box and tied it in here, but the orange wire up top continued on, and it looks like they ran out of wire right here, so the orange wire goes in here and terminates, and they continue it on through that hole into the washer area. And these wires up here, which jump over top of it, one is going to be for the refrigerator and one is going to be for the washer. So the other one for washers on this side, and all three of them go through there. So if we look in the kitchen area, we see that all the wires that need to be run have been run and are hanging down with loops. Anything that has to be hooked up later once this wall is put in, those are hanging up here. Over here we got the Peninsula lighting. Go over to this side. Everything hanging down from the ceiling is for the lighting on the ceiling, the recessed lights. So these, see all these loops of wire hanging down? That's just going to run to those lights. This is the area for the lights to go to the ceiling, I believe. This is the wire for the washing machine. They gotta still run some wires up here for the stove. Looks like that's hanging up here. This is for the microwave up in the cabinet. He's got all the wires running through the insulation, going to an outlet here, and then up again for a three-way switch, which comes down to here. Got all the lighting there. Looks like we got the wires for the washer are hooked up. I left this loose so I can sheetrock behind it. And there's for the washer. So we got electricity for the washer, the dryer. I have the drain. I gotta finish that, put the washer box up top, and there's the sink area. So we're all set in here, and here's the outlet over here for the refrigerator. So we're pretty well on our way. And these are all the notes that Steve took for people we got to get in touch with for tile work. Tile America. These are contact people for the countertop, and that's the contact person in Plainville for tile. So Steve's going to start the sheetrocking on the ceiling first, and then he'll start working on the walls. Here's a look at the standpipe for the washer that I installed. I still got to add some height to it and connect it up to a washer box, which would have the connections for the hot and cold water. But I essentially got the drain portion of it done. The pipe on the side here, this is going to be the vent that goes all the way up the wall and through the ceiling. So that I still have to connect. But what I was focusing on this weekend was getting the drain system through the floor. So it was kind of a tough maneuvering of the pipe, because what I had to do here is cut the bottom of the wall out, cut out a piece of the floor, cut out some of the joists here, notch it out so that I could get this pipe around this corner and underneath into the joist bay. So that was kind of a pain to cut all that material out of there. So this is the vent, the drain. It's going to continue up to the vent, up this way, and I have a cap on it just to keep debris from getting in there. And this is a sanitary tee, which goes across this horizontal run, and this is the trap for the standpipe. The standpipe is what the washer is going to drain the water into, to drain into the regular drainage system. Now over here I had to do the same thing. We got a slop sink that's going in. Same arrangement. I had to cut out the bottom of the floor, the bottom of the wall, and some of the joist in order to make this corner, you know, keep all the piping in the wall so I could sheetrock. The bend goes around this area here, and it goes into the drain underneath this joist bay. So this is the stub out that's going to, with the sanitary tee, that's going to go to the slop sink. And this part of the pipe continues up and gets connected to a vent. So this vent will come up the wall, run across the wall over to here, which will be adjacent to the pipe that I extend from this vent here. So these two vents will be connected up here and go straight up to the ceiling. And this is the standpipe that the washer will drain into. We have the 20-volt circuit for the washer, and we also have the 220-volt for the dryer installed. It's hanging out like that because there's going to be a 1/2-inch piece of sheetrock behind it, and the electrician just left it so that I can get the sheetrock in there and then fasten it like that. So let me show you the trap area. This piece of wood here is where I had to go in and out to work on that piping. So this is the pipe that comes out of the rim joist from the house. This is a crawl space right here, and this runs downstream, or upstream rather. And there's a piece of blocking that had to get notched to fit it, and this runs all the way down to the slop sink. So this is the crawl space down here. I had to crawl, not a lot of room, maybe 2 feet. You can see this is kind of a cold and dingy, cold place, but that's why I had to go in and out of there to get all these pipes fitted and glued. So that's where that was. So here's the floor. We got a little opening here to get in and out. So I still have to run the hot and cold water pipes in there, or in this wall here that's framing out the nook. So that's my next plan of attack. So here's the standpipe that we're taking out of this space here. So this is where the water runs out of the washer, and there's a hot and cold water line. So this is a washer box. So I have to just move this over to the other area, and we should be all set with reusing this box. Let me show you where this pipe comes out from underneath the crawl space. So if you look right there, you can see that this is where the drain pipe for the washer and the slop sink is coming out through the blocking on the sill plate and the rim joist. So there's just enough room there to glue on some fittings. So what it has to do, it has to come through here, down around this heating circuit, and thread the needle, so to speak, below this lead bend that goes up to the toilet flange. So it's going to come down through here and connect up to these white pipes here for the drain. It's the hot and cold water supply for the washer. I haven't put that in yet. That I can do with PEX pipe. That'll be pretty much done in an hour. That's a pretty simple material to use for a water line. So I'm going to get that all squared away next couple of days. So we should have laundry, I would say Wednesday at the latest. We'll have laundry service back online, because I already did the drains. That's a done deal. But I need to do the hot and cold water supply. So there's a washer has the connections to pull water in. The drain is all set. I do still need to connect the drain to the main stack down in the cellar. So that's one more thing I have to do after I do the water before. And I got to give it a test to make sure everything's working. No leaks. And we'll be good to go. So tomorrow Steve is going to finish the subfloor and start working on the ceiling. And he wanted to get as much done with the sheetrock and stuff so that when Manny comes in to do the tile work, there's the least amount of work to happen after the tiles are down, so there's no possibility of damaging something and having to replace a tile. So Steve's going to get busy on that.